What happened? Ugh. Did I black out? Ugh, I told myself I wouldn't have another one of those kind of parties.
Hello, scary bro. I want to play a game. During the course of your pathetic excuse for a life, you've constantly looked down on others, judging them, criticizing them, making them feel low. You, who have accomplished so little, even now in your afterlife, you continue to judge and scoff with your little movie review show, allowing you to critique others' work undeserved. Well, today you're going to be made to feel low. You will need to crawl through the tunnel in front of you, lined with glass shards and rusty nails, to reach the key that unlocks the door to this room. Hurry though, in 60 seconds the bomb at the center of the room will detonate. Are you willing to humble yourself to save your own life? Live or die. Make your How did you...
I'm a ghost. Hello?
Oh, right. Well, now I feel stupid.
As well you should. Good day to you, my good man.
Damn it. Really didn't think that one through.
Where were you?
Oh, just, traffic.
Hello, mortals, and welcome to Scary Sibs.
As lovers of the more fun side of horror, we don't exactly consider ourselves fans of the so-called torture porn genre. We do, however, make an exception for the Saw films, with their creative death traps and deeper themes about overcoming your vices and the lengths people would or perhaps wouldn't go in order to save their own lives.
Yes, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the franchise, these movies follow the story of a man named John Kramer, who would go on to be recognized as the Jigsaw Killer. John has stage 4 brain cancer and has a new outlook on life. He, and in some of the films, his followers, take people who have lived life in ways he deems immoral, or they seem like they are not appreciative of life. He kidnaps his victims, and they wake up in elaborate traps where they must do an undesirable task to escape. These movies are definitely gruesome, gory, and disturbing, but they are also surprisingly deep and intriguing. There are 10 of these films, and today we will be ranking them from worst to best. Number 10, Saw 3D. The new Jigsaw Killer has been making his rounds, and we are shown a few random traps he has set up, but the main storyline follows a man named Bobby, who became rich and famous after selling a false story about being in a jigsaw trap. He is eventually put to the test when he finds himself in Jigsaw's hands for real and must complete a series of trials to save himself and his loved ones.
As the supposed final chapter of the franchise, this one is a bit of a letdown. Heck, even as an independent entry on its own, it's a bit of a letdown. A few of the traps here are decent, such as the car trap and the beginning one in the middle of a public street, but they tend to verge into insanely over-the-top territory, and some rely on some pretty bad green screen. Also, though it was nice to see longtime Jigsaw protege Hoffman finally get his comeuppance, the actual means by which this happens leaves a bit to be desired. Dr. Gordon, protagonist from Saw 1, comes back and reveals himself to be the next apprentice and places Hoffman in the bathroom trap from the first movie. It feels sudden and out of place, and I wish Dr. Gordon had been in more of the movie.
Also, this movie is a bit depressing. Like, I know. None of these movies fit the feel-good movie of the year category, but this one is like, no one lives. Like, Bobby fails every single time. I just wasn't a fan of this one and would easily skip it in a future Saw marathon.
Number 9. Saw 4. The first film to take place after John Kramer's death, Saw 4 follows the story of Officer Rigg, who's put through a series of tests by Jigsaw's mysterious successor in order to save the lives of two of his fellow officers. The tests involve Officer Rigg being forced to let people save themselves instead of following his own instincts to help them. Learning this lesson on how not to save a life will ultimately be the difference between life and death for him and the two captives.
This story was a bit confusing and felt honestly kind of forced. Spoiler alert, but Saw 3 was clearly meant to be the ending, as this film feels very much like an afterthought. The message here was also a bit flawed. Like, Officer Rigg's biggest mistake was that he thought he could save everyone. Really, Jigsaw? You couldn't find anyone worse to punish?
This entry feels like an unnecessary continuation of what should have been a finished trilogy, and it relies on a confusing message and brainless protagonist that learns absolutely nothing from his experience. A worrying trend with some of the Saw films, as we will soon discover.
Number 8. Saw. Two men, Adam and Lawrence, wake up in a nasty bathroom chained down. Neither of the men remember how they got there, and there is a third, seemingly dead man laying in the floor. The men are given clues and hints as to why they are there and how to escape. Turns out, this is the work of the one who will be known as the Jigsaw Killer, John Kramer.
As the first film in the series, this movie of course did not have the same standard formula for the franchise established. The traps in this film are much more subtle and aren't even as numerous as they are in the sequels. This movie is much slower and more of a thriller/mystery centered on Jigsaw's identity. As such, it can be a bit of a dull watch for longtime fans used to the crazy traps and gore. This movie still has plenty to offer in terms of suspense and characters, but many of the sequels simply surpass it.
This movie has its slow and dull moments, especially compared to the rest of the franchise, but it will always be iconic anyways, and we are thankful for this film as it paved the way for what Saw would become.
Number 7. Spiral. This spin-off film stars Chris Rock as Detective Zeke Banks, who is investigating a grisly string of murders targeting corrupt cops in the city. These murders all have the hallmarks of Jigsaw's work, with the victims being placed in gory death traps. As Detective Banks seeks to find the identity of this Jigsaw copycat, he uncovers the truth of the killer's motive, leading back to his father's long-standing policy of police corruption.
So, positives first. The acting in this movie is amazing. The spin-off plot was captivating and kept true to many of the things Saw fans love, while also adding a different spin. I would give the first 9/10 of this film 5 stars. It only starts to dwindle in the last little bit of the movie. The ending was odd and didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, the killer acts like he walks away from the mess, but now Zeke knows his identity and can easily find him. Also, the police make rash decisions that are a bit far-fetched in my personal opinion.
As a way to continue the Saw series, a standalone spin-off wasn't a bad way to go, as opposed to introducing yet another unknown Jigsaw apprentice. It doesn't hurt that the movie itself is a competent offering that, while flawed to be sure, is a unique, entertaining film in its own right with just enough of that Saw flavor peppered in.
Number 6, Saw 2. Detective Eric Matthews is front and center in this first sequel as he and his team race against the clock and John Kramer to save 8 people from being killed in a jigsaw trap. One of the 8 being Eric's son. We watch from the edge of our seats as Detective Matthews is drawn into Jigsaw's game, and we hope that he can follow the rules to escape.
As a direct sequel to the original, this film definitely ups the ante in terms of gore and death traps, opening with one of the most iconic in the series in the death mask. From there, we're directed on a twisted, violent adventure with our 8 victims as they navigate a trap-filled house filled with nerve gas. Detective Matthews himself, while not likable or exactly smart, is an understandable protagonist as he does drastic things, but all in service of finding his son. Of course, as always, the highlight here is Jigsaw himself. Coming off his almost nothing presence in the first film, actor Tobin Bell really brings it here, adding personality and depth to the villain.
This movie isn't perfect, but it is heading in the right direction after the first movie. We see more elaborate traps, and it feels more like a game than the first.
Number 5. Saw 3. Intended originally to be the finale of the series, Saw 3 shows us a dying and desperate John, who has kidnapped a doctor and is forcing her to perform an emergency surgery to hopefully save his life. Meanwhile, a separate game is set for a man named Jeff, who lost his son in a DUI accident and is vengeful at those responsible. Now faced with those same people, he must learn to let go of his anger and forgive, or face dire consequences.
This movie is very suspenseful and keeps your interest throughout. The traps begin to get more gruesome and creative as well. A downside here is listeness. These traps are all set up by Amanda, and she has designed hers to be inescapable. It stinks watching these people struggle to complete the task and still die. Also, Jeff is an awful character, and I have a hard time rooting for him. The real hero here is Lynn, Jeff's wife, who is simply caught in the middle between her awful husband and these lunatics holding her captive.
Agreed. Jeff is one of those protagonists that's frustrating because, like Officer Rigg, he fails to learn anything on his adventure. I understand that's probably the point. These movies show the tragedy that happens when people fail to learn from their mistakes, but it makes for an unsatisfying watch. That said though, the creativity of the traps is fantastic, the rack being a gruesome but memorable standout. As an intended series finale though, Saw offers a bloody, suspenseful, and dark initial end to this trilogy.
Number 4, Saw 5. When looking for answers on a possible third Jigsaw accomplice, the police search for anyone who may fit that bill. We see the story of FBI agent Peter Strom, who survived a jigsaw trap, and Lieutenant Mark Hoffman, who was recently promoted after his role in the Jigsaw murder investigation. One of these men is hiding a terrible history in which the other figures out a bit too late. Interspersed throughout the film, we also see 5 people who were captured in an elaborate trap and must work together to save themselves.
So, in all honesty, the cop plot here isn't all that memorable, and Detective Strong isn't the most likable protagonist. However, what raises this film in our estimation is the trap plot involving the 5 victims. The traps here all have a consistent running theme about cooperation. It's obvious from the beginning that these characters need to work together to survive, and it's fun to pick apart how they could survive each game. The games themselves are sadistically delightful as they dispatch each fool who fails to learn their lesson. But at the end, it's also refreshing to see 2 of the victims actually put together what they're supposed to do and survive. It's a nice change of pace from everyone dies because they were too stupid to listen to the puppet on the TV.
This film redeemed the franchise after a disappointing Saw 4. It had so many elements that were better than its predecessor and made me excited to keep watching the future films.
Number 3. Saw 6. As the police close in on Hoffman, the twisted Jigsaw apprentice sets up another game, this time for William Easton, the head of an insurance company notorious for denying coverage to terminal patients. As Easton navigates through the twisted traps, he sees firsthand the cruelty in deciding who lives and who dies, and in the end, discovers that trading a human life for money will come back to bite him in the worst possible way.
This movie had many highlights. It was intense, and the traps were creative, my personal favorite being the shotgun carousel. The stories of Agent Hoffman and of William were equally interesting, and I truly did not see the twists coming. The film was honestly really good. A couple small downsides include subpar acting and some far-fetched moments, but overall, very impressed.
This may not be a popular choice, but for us, Saw 6 was a creative and thrilling entry with more than enough gore to satisfy and a message that's very relevant in the modern world.
Number 2, Jigsaw. The twist-filled 8th installment in the Saw series follows Detective Halloran and his crew who are trying to figure out who is committing the newest round of Jigsaw murders as John Kramer is supposedly dead. With the help of Logan and Eleanor, two forensic pathologists, Halloran is brought to the realization that Jigsaw may have in fact come back from the dead, or at least someone is making it look that way. As the police scramble for answers, we also follow another group of would-be victims whose trap-filled journey ends in a shocking way.
The traps here are more back to basics than the over-the-top wild machinery that Saw 3D presented. This makes sense once the twist is revealed, but regardless, it presents a return to form for the series. I also love how they handle the twist at the end. We know John Kramer didn't actually come back from the dead, but the answer of what actually is going on is brilliant. Sure, the trap victims here are idiots as usual, and the final trap feels a little science fiction-y, but I can forgive those hiccups because the rest of the things in this movie are just that good.
The character development, plots, and twists here were done remarkably well. This movie is so good and so memorable. Definitely one I would recommend time and time again.
Number 1, Saw X. Taking place between Saws 1 and 2, this midquel sees John travel to Mexico City after learning of an experimental treatment that could finally cure his cancer, helmed by Norwegian doctor Cecilia Peterson. After the operation, John is initially filled with hope and renewed faith in humanity. That is, until he discovers that the entire thing was a scam to con desperate cancer patients out of their money. Now, with his protege Amanda by his side, John decides to get revenge on the con artist the only way he knows how, the Jigsaw way.
We loved this film for the acting, plot, traps, and story. It pulls at your emotions and almost makes you feel bad for John after he realizes he's been tricked by these terrible people. Like when you are rooting for Jigsaw, you know that they have done a great job at making someone worse than he is. The only downside is the ending, and that is just because I wanted more. I need to know Cecilia's fate, and I hope that question is answered in the release of Saw 11.
You wouldn't expect the 10th entry in a serial killer horror franchise to be this good, but here we are. This movie benefits heavily from the fact that it spends so much time developing John as a person first and a killer second. So when we finally do get to the killings, it feels earned and you almost want John to slaughter these people. If the next movie in the series continues this route, I'm definitely eager to see it.
And those were our picks for the Saw movies ranked worst to best. Do you agree or disagree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. friends. Until next time, I'm scary. Someone's calling the spooky phone. Know who that could be?
No, not a clue. Let's see who it is. Jigsaw, what do you want now? I won your little game.
Stuck in traffic, huh?
Shh.
Did you, Scary Bro? You think I didn't know you were a ghost? How stupid do you think I am?
Do you want me to answer that honestly, or...
Come on, you just marathoned all my movies. You know as well as anyone that I always have a plan, on top of a plan, on top of a plan. I knew I couldn't kill you back at that warehouse. That whole trap was a ruse to take away something even more precious than your life. I've stolen your connection to the outside world, your voice, if you will. If you want it back, you'll have to play one final game at the place where time stands still.
What did he mean? I know he didn't really take your voice, unfortunately.
I don't know, Wait a minute. Ah, crap. He has my phone. It must have fallen out at the warehouse, and now he has it. But where is he? The place where time stands still. Wait, I think I know. Come on.
Hold on. Why do I have to come?
Because Jigsaw's puzzles are hard, and I might need your extra quarter brain cell. Now let's go.
Texas Tom's discount clock record?
The place where time stands still. The factory's still open, but they haven't produced a single clock since they've been open because, Texas Tom.
How that man still has money and isn't in jail is completely beyond me. Come on, let's get it over with.
Kramer, I'm here. Now give me back my phone, you R-rated Batman villain.
Now, flattery will get you nowhere. The game I devised for you is a simple one. All you have to do is turn the knob at the center of everything. You will suffer a bit, but you'll get your phone back. Hold out until the timer reaches 0, and the prize will be yours.
Just turn the knob? That seems easy enough.
Wait, that's just what he wants us to do. You know, trick with Jigsaw. Let's see. Turn a knob at the center of everything. Up there! In the middle of that giant clock, the figure of Texas Tom's head. He's a bit of a knob, and he's at the center of this whole woefully failing string of franchises he's got. We must have to turn that. Quickly, sister, get up there!
Why do I have to do it?
Quickly, time's ticking, go!
Whoa!
Careful, it's dangerous up there.
Yeah, I gathered.
I believe in you.
And I hate you.
You did it. Now get back down here. Oh, there you are. You could have just teleported up there to begin with. You didn't have to waste so much time climbing up.
Well, next time. You do it.
All right.
You're welcome, by the way.
All right, Jigsaw. We won your game. Now hand over my phone.
You didn't win my game. I just stopped the clock because I was in shock from how dumb you two are. You were literally just supposed to turn the knob in the middle of the room. That's it.
Oh, see.
We thought...
Yeah, we assumed But in our defense, turning a knob, that's it? That's the case?
And turning the knob would have released poison gas in your face as long as you held it. But if you could hold your breath until the timer ran out, you would have won.
Ah, see, there it is. But I remind you once again that I am a ghost. Poison gas has no effect on me.
You know what? Cut me a break, okay? There aren't any ghosts in my movies. I'm only good at torturing living humans. Alright, you know what? Here, take your stupid phone back. I don't even want it anymore. But be warned. Sometimes, memories once lost cannot be retrieved.
Yeah, nice proverb there, Aristotle. Sister, let's go home.
Well, now that that's over, this will conclude our video, ranking the Saw movies worst to best. Did you agree or disagree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Until then, I'm Scary Bro.
And I am Scary Sibs. And we are
the Scary Sibs. And boy, am I glad to have my phone back. And, wait a minute. All my apps are gone. It's like he factory reset the entire thing. And my photos are all just pictures of Jigsaw!
I told you before that some memories once lost cannot be retrieved. Victory always comes at a cost. And those careless enough to forsake things important to them, like dropping their phone at a warehouse, don't always get it back. So cherish your prized possessions and hold them close, or one day they may disappear forever.
Kramer, you son of a...
Oh, and one more thing.
What?
Game over.